again. And there we are. That's a dabbler.
Wow.
So, like I was saying, if you look at the amount of feather I've actually used, that's quite a bit. It's got a tiny little head, and it's got a total perfect cloak all the way around. So easy to do. But just when you tie it in, make sure the fibers are pointing up. So when you cloak it around and you fold it back, they all sit curved as you want it. They're not skew-iffed everywhere. They're not
sticking
like
up.
that. Yeah.
I appreciate that tip, Gavin, because putting the cloak on after you've tied the fly
Makes
is
it
awkward.
messy.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to get it all around the fly.
Yes. And the other advantage with this is I'm not going like this.
Yes.
To cut all the little pain in the ass bits that are poking out to cut them off.
Yeah.
Because you've already done the hard work by tying it in first and folding it forward.
Yeah.
So when you do that, it makes it a lot neater. It makes it easier, and it gives you a perfect hackle.
Excellent.
And the only thing you have to change with that, the pattern stays the same. The front hackle and the tail stays the same. Just change the material in the middle. Use pearl or mirage if you want a pearly dabbler. An orange one. This makes it nice and simple, nice and easy.
So will that be your point fly, will it?
Yes. Yes, usually. I tied this on a single, but I do like my dabblers on a double because it gives you that extra bit of weight. It straightens your cast for you. But when you're actually fishing lock style, the double holds the leader better in the water.
Yeah.
So when you're actually bobbing, if you're using 3 flies, which I normally do with the lock style, the double just holds your point in the water better. So your 2 droppers bounce across the water. Yeah, if you can imagine doing that.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah.
But of course, on some waters they don't like you using doubles, so you use a single. And of course, you don't get your fingers caught in the extra hook when you're using a single, do you? When you're actually tying them.
Yeah.
You don't. When you pull the hackle back, you don't get stuck to the right. So. Are we all happy?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're tying that, Gavin, on a double, what size double would you use?
Size 12. 12. It's normally I like the partridge singles, but when I'm tying the double, I might actually have it. I use the Camazan
B270. No,
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
got a down eye rather than up eye.
It's got the That's
it.
it. Yeah.
30 in it, Gavin.
No, not for a double.
I can't remember what the pattern was for this.
I'll be 280 for the double.
It could be. It could be. It could be. It's a nice bronze. It's a nice thick heavy double. But the 12. If you look at the size 12, and you look at the size B175 Camazan, size 10, they're the same size. Because on the international stage, you can't use a size 10 double. It's got to be the 12 because you got the elongated eye on it.
Okay.
So normally it is a double, but for this purpose, it's
Definitely B280 on a
B280. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is a 280. Yeah, yeah. I haven't actually got any left. Looking at that, that's more money to spend. Right, we will now go to Bloodworm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tidy.
Right. Okay. It's Flexi Floss one with a bead. What is when you do these Zoom meetings, there's materials everywhere, literally everywhere. Right, so the hook I'm going to use is from Partridge, and it's the grub straight eye, and this one's a 10. No, I normally use them on a 14 or 12, but for tying purposes, I'm going to use the 10 because you can see it a little bit easier. And we take countersunk bead, black or gunmetal.
Mhm.
And, well, the size of the bead suits the size of the hook. This is a tungsten, it's a 2.4. See if I can find the actual all of this now. Right, you just thread. Oh, done. See if I can get a nice black one. Yeah, we are. Okay. Right, thread it on. Of course, the small eye is on first. If I can get it through. No, that one won't go in. Bear with me, I'll find one now. Nice black one. There we are. Right. So we thread the bead on. Like so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tungsten 2.4. Normally, I'd never straight line these. They're always fished under a bung. Always under a bung. And the advantage of using the tungsten, this fly's got a little tail on it, a little mirage tail, okay? So when it's actually sinking through the water, it gives you a little twinkle. It gives you this action as it's going down through the water.
Yeah.
And more often than not, you'll pull fish on the drop. So when you're actually fishing the bung, what I tend to do is I cast it hard so the leader straightens. So when the bung sits on the water, you lead it straight and it's going down straight. If you've got a little bit of a curl in it, you won't see the takes.
Mhm.
They let it and they're gone and you don't even know it's happened. So keep the leader nice and straight. And here we go. So we got a bead on, red thread, catch it behind the bead, make a little dam. So the bead sits nice and firm. Trim your waist away. Take your thread down the hook to about halfway. And then we take some, this is a small mirage. Yeah, we take mirage, small. Take one little piece. And when you take this mirage off, see that? Off the spool, it gives you that little curl.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What I tend to do is I'll place the mirage on the hook, like so. 1, 2 loose turns, pull it to length with the curve pointing upwards.
Mhm.
Pull it nice and straight and tie it down to the position that you want it, which is about 3/4 of the way down the bend of the hook. Just like so. Oh, these lights are making it difficult to see this, but we'll get there.
Is that glow bright floss you're using, Gav?
No, it's Benici red, and it's 12 if you want to use the glow bright, you can. In fact, that may be good because when we put the Flexi Floss on, we leave little gaps to make it look like segments, and you'd see the Flexi, the glow bright through it. So that may give it a bit of a difference. I'll think of that. Right, trim the mirage away, leaving about 3/4 of an inch. Move the silk up to the middle of the hook. Go to the other side. Do exactly the same thing on the other side. Put it tight, keeping the curve towards you. Just work it down. Move your vise. And there we are. Get to the finished position and move your thread back up to just behind the bead. Pull the tail together, and you want to cut maybe 5-6 mil and do it in 1 hit. So they're the same length. So now you've got those 2 little tails and they're poking out of the back of the hook like that.
Yeah.
So when it's sinking through the column, it's going like this, so you got that little bit of a twinkle and it brings fish on. Right, Flexi Floss. Do you boys use this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? No? Take 1 length. And there is a technique to using it. You gotta, well, you gotta learn to use it really, because you gotta keep the same strain, the same tension on it. Right, the silk is behind the eye. Pull it nice and straight so it's on top. 1, 2, 3 turns. Make sure it's on top. 2 tight turns, pull it. And work way down with nice, neat, slightly open turns down to the tail. Come around. When you get to that position, keep it nice and tight, the thread. Work your thread back up to just behind the eye. Pull the waist tight, trim it away. Now, important with this is to keep the tension on and keep it the same. You leave it go, it just goes. So with open turns, come up and leave, say 2 mil behind, between each turn. Just work your way up. Keep the tension the same. And when I get to that position, which is the thorax area, pull it tight and then work towards the bead with touching turns. Get to the bead, work back on yourself. So we're going back maybe 6-7 mil maybe. When we get to there, pull the Flexi Floss upwards and lay some thread on to tighten it up. When we get there, make sure the Flexi Floss is on top of the hook. 3 or 4 turns and release it. Just put it behind the vise so it's out of the way. And now we're ready to build a little bit of a thorax. Although a bloodworm hasn't got a thorax in such. We're going to create an extra little bit of flash in it. So we go back to our mirage. There's that piece I just put down, it's disappeared. Same mirage, and this is the small. And we do exactly the same thing as we did with the tail. If I can see it. Catch it in. Place it on the side of the body. Couple of turns. Trim the waist away. Trim your mirage about 2 or 3 inches. Roll it over. And catch the little cheek on the other side. If you can get hold of it, that is. Come on. These lights are killing me, to be honest. I can't see a thing with them. Right, okay, there we are. Right, we take the 2 cheeks down to where the Flexi Floss is. Trim your waist. Pull them back. Take your thread up to behind the bead. Take your Flexi Floss, pull the mirage out of the way. There we go. 1. Nice and loose. For making the thorax, be a little bit lighter on the actual Flexi Floss, so it creates a thicker profile. Come right up to the bead. Give 2 or 3 turns behind the bead. Nice and tight. Cross your silk. 1, 2. Cross it again. 2, 3. Pull it tight. And trim your flexi floss away. Okay? With your cheeks, just pull them forward. And when you pull them, place your thumb on the material. Put a turn of thread around. Make sure it sits right. When it's there, another turn. Go to the other side. Place your finger there to hold it. Turn round, maybe another one. Adjust it. And there we are. Put one turn there. Draw the mirage back. 1, 2 turns in. Locked it down. Trim the waste away. As soon as you put the mirage down, it just disappears. You know it's there, but you just can't see it. And whip finish. Behind the bead.
There's such a variation
2,
in
3.
flexi floss, isn't there? Some
Yes.
spaces are dying thick, others thin as anything and curly whirly.
Yeah. And
What have you found to be the best?
It's learning how to use it. It's just cut that tail a little bit shorter. Oh, that's lovely. And there we are. Which one's the best? I don't know. I think I don't know. There are so many out there. I use the Vineyards one. I've used the Vineyards for years, all in all different colours, and it suits me. It's nice and it's durable. It's easy to work with. The next thing we do, if you can use the UV if you want, but what I tend to do is just turn it in the vise a little bit. Get one of my clips.
I skipped a page, Gavin. Is that a curved hook?
Yes. Yeah. Because the actual insect itself is a little bit square.
Yeah.
So Sally Hansen's, draw most of it off, like so, and just a little bit of feather off there. Give it a coat. What this does is it gives the flexi durability, but it also makes it sparkle. The mirage comes to life with it. So lightly brush it all the way around. Take a pin, tying pin, grab the hook, release it, and just go like that for a couple of seconds. It dries the Sally Hansen and it gives it a nice even finish. Of course, if you use the UV, you do it in one go. But you don't really get the shine as what you do with. See the cheeks?
Yeah.
See the spark?
Yeah.
And see the tail?
Yeah, sparkling, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you can just see the cheeks there, look. And you can tie them in various sizes. You can tie them in different colours. For a point buzzer, I tie it in olive, black, but as my bloodworm, that's it. I fished in the small still waters international up in Lochta, and we were struggling. And I was talking to Howell Morgan, and I said, have you tried a bloodworm? He went, no. We put this on, and I ended up 10th position.
Wow.
From catching 4 fish in 5 days to landing 12 on the day.
Wow.
That under a bung.
Mm.
And when we looked at the Scottish lads, they were all using bloodworms and red. I thought, oh, you gets, like, we couldn't suss it.
What sort of distance leader from the bung would you fish that?
It
I know it's going to vary from the depth of water, but what would you say on average?
depends on your fishery.
Yeah.
We've got garn fruit
Yeah.
In cross hands, and you've got to look really at the depths. Like the one end of garn fruit, you got 13, 14 feet.
Yeah.
Use a long leader,
Mhm.
length of the rod. But on the other end of garn fruit, it's on where peg 6, peg 7 is. It goes down, it shallows off to 5 feet, even 4 feet. So adjust it.
Okay.
Adjust it. So you've got to know the waters you're in,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you want your bloodworm really 6, 8 inches off the bottom.
Yeah.
Off the bed, because that's where they are.
Okay. Good.
That's where they are.
Good.
But the advantage of that, with that little tungsten bead, it gives you, like I said, it gives you this. It sinks quick,
Mhm.
so you're in contact with your bung. You got the little black head with the red body, which is what you're looking for, and you got that little bit of sparkle.
Yeah.
But when you finish them off, remember to Sally Hansen, because it's got to have a bit of durability. Otherwise, when the fish get hold of it, they rip it to pieces.
Okay.
Happy? Everybody happy?
This is
Yeah.
all good stuff, mate. It's all good stuff. This is.
Yeah.
What else do we want? Pick something. Do you want to, what about a traditional? Something like a March brown?
Go on in.
March brown wet?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Go for it.
Okay, I should have the stuff out and about.
You could do your little cow-dung fly, you know, the shit fly.
Oh, I can't do that, Derek. I'd have to come up and assassinate you. I can if you want.
I tied some last week.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you use it?
No,
Why not? You went before you went to Cow-dung?
yeah, no, I'd left them on my bloody desk, hadn't I?
All right. I will do one of them, and I got a little bit of foam in front of me. Right. Jewelfish dries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Jewelfish CDC dries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Emerges.
Right.
Right. So when you have 1 or 2 fish on your CDC emerges, what's the feather like?
Yeah.
Slime.
Soaking wet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lime, chuck it in the box, yeah? So I got a little bit peeved off for that, to be honest. It's not that long ago either, only a few weeks ago. I thought, oh, I've got to change this. Bloody hell, I'm going through flies in my box. You know, I took 5 or 6 up to Cow-dung, and oh my God, I went through them in about 3 hours.
Whoa,
I thought, oh, we can't do this. So come up with a little pattern. Where is it? I have to get my ox now, lads. Talk amongst yourselves.
Mhm.
Ideal standard. Right, I'll use a barbler sock. The hook doesn't really matter. It's only for the tying purposes. So I'll use a 14. My river hooks. Tie it in. Okay, can everybody see that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a ideal standard dry from Partridge. This is the hook I normally use the Everywhere Supreme size 16s and 14s, but I can't see where they are. But I had them earlier and I can't see where they are. Somebody's pinched them off my desk. Right. I'll use black thread. Black thread, catch on at the center. Take your thread up then to the bend of the hook. Trim your waist. And I'll show you what I do with the actual foam, okay? I got a foam cylinder. Stuff is everywhere. I don't know what you were tying rooms are like, but oh my God. My wife hates coming in here. Well, in fact, she's banned. I don't let her come in here. Booby cylinder.
Mhm.
Same color as natural CDC. It's from Semperfly and they're called stone. It's a natural grey. So cut it in the middle. So I've halved it. Okay. Cut it lengthways, straight down the middle. Halved it again. And then get the quarter. Cut that straight down the middle as well. So what I'm left with, I don't know if you can see that, is a quarter with a round top and a little sharp pointy bit on the bottom. The sharp piece goes onto the shank of the hook at the rear, so it's pointing out to the arse end of the fly, not the eye. Okay, so we catch it on like so. 2 loose turns, 3 loose turns, another one, until the foam collapses on itself. And when it collapses, you can lay the thread on there nice and tight. If you do it in one go, you'll cut the thread will cut through the foam and it, well, it ruins it. So a couple of loose turns to compress it and then on it goes. That's a wing, it was going to be a wing. Take hackle. This is a natural dun. That's a saddle. Take a few fibers off. Give us a tie in post. Catch it in at the base of the foam. And then form a hackle at the base of the foam. Put 2 turns on and coming down from the foam, and then another 2 or maybe 3 up towards the foam. So you cut out any little gaps. The last one then comes through and we catch it off. With a thread. 1, 2, 3, pull it back, 1 for luck. Trim it away. Finger and thumb, push the hackle up, or crease it rather, up towards the foam. Pull it back, catch the fibers, so they sit actually facing where the foam is. Where's me? Right, I have got some seals for that I've done. Where's it gone? Right, bear with me, lads. Yeah, there we are. Right. You see that, those colors? That's my dung fly or shit fly mix. It's hot orange, ginger, and a bit of fiery brown. So it makes a nice dung fly color. All seals fur. Take a good pinch. Weight your finger and thumb. Just dub it on, like so. Do any of you ever get any trouble dubbing seals fur?
No, not really.
No?
Little and often. Twist it the one way. Always have to wet my fingers though.
Right. Because some people say, oh, you're twisting it 2 ways, but what I sometimes go a bit quick. I'm twisting, lifting off, twisting, twisting. But when I'm going back, look, so it looks as if you're doing 2 ways, but it's just 1 way. But there is a little secret with seals fur. When it's in the packets and it's tight, put it in your palm of your hand, finger, and rub it to break it up. Because a lot of time it won't dub on because it's too tight. So when you break it up, as you can see there, it goes on. Exactly. It goes on nice and easy. So now, just tighten that up a little bit more. Starting from behind the eye. Work up to the hackle. And when you go in there, catch the little hackle fibers in. So you're pushing them up. And then work back down towards the eye. And when you're there, a neat little head, whip finish. Trim it off. Bit of UV. Come on. Doesn't want to come out. There we are. Just touch it on. Leave it settle. And set it off then. Just like so. 10, 15 seconds. Leave it go hard. Take a dubbing brush. Give it a little pull out. Make it nice and scruffy. And then take the fly out of the vise. And where we got the curve on the straight edge, we take our scissors, we follow the straight edge, and we go into the middle of the curve, and we go right down tight to the hook. You want to cut off, stop cutting about, say, 3 mil from the base of the hook. So we go down. There we are. So then what we're left with is a little pair of wings.
Nice.
So instead of CDC, you got foam,
Whoa, nice.
which sits like that. So that's this is the water. The head and the seal's fur is just under the water. The hackle's on top, and you've got the 2 little wings poking up. And you just cast it out and cast it out and cast it out, fish after fish after fish. You may have to give it a little clean, get some slime off it. It doesn't sink. And you can use it time and time again.
Nice.
The last time I fished it in Clywedog, which was a week before last, I used one of these on a black one, and it didn't take them off all day. And I think I had 16, 17 fish
Oh, yeah.
off the bank. So give it a little go. You know, it might not work for you, but it worked for me. And now I got about 30 odd in my box, various different colors, various sizes. I was using the black one was 16 and this one was a 14, and they were taking the 2. So it's just a little bit of innovation, just a little bit of thinking. And the way it sits on the water is exactly the same as the CDC one would. It's just a little bit more durable. So what do you think about it?
Very nice.
Very good.
Looks
Yeah.
good.
That's why I tied them up last week. The only trouble was they're still on my desk.
Yeah, it's a little bit like pressing the record button, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Do you want a traditional one? Shall I finish with the March Brown?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
Right. Okay. See what I got. I got a bit of partridge. Got those. That's an 8. That's too big. Heavyweight Supreme, size 12. Right, we'll do it on a size 12. Once again, it's the Heavyweight Supreme. It is my favorite wet fly hook, I got to be honest. It's modeled on the old, you boys probably remember the Captain Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they ever stopped making it, to be honest.
I've still got.
I don't know. I haven't seen them around, but I think this is the new version. This is the stepped up version of it. Right, we've got a size 12 in. We'll use a black thread because I got it in my hand. Catch on just behind the eye, as usual. Trim a waist away. Come down to the center. We'll take a partridge feather. This is one of the feathers from the side. It's not the hackle. It's one of the side wing feathers. Yeah, gives you the nice mottled, mottled colours. So we take the feather, we just trim it, trim the down off. Take a few fibres. I like my March browns to be a little bit scruffy, my wet March browns. I don't like them to be perfect. So I take a few fibres off. Tie in from the centre or just further down from the centre of the hook. Place them on so they're pointing up. Hold them. 2 little turns, make sure they're pointing up. Hold them, tie them in, just like so. Okay, nice long tail. Trim the waist off. Take our gold rib, our extra small. It's nice to have everything on the table in front of me, to be honest, other than digging through everything. Extra small gold. Push it through this way, so it sits there. Catch it in, trim a waist away. Secure everything down. And once again, I've placed my rib on and I've tied it on the side. It's just a habit that I've got. Some people like it off the top, some people underneath. Me, I'm always on the left-hand side. We take some dubbing. Right, here's you. And what I tend to do for my March browns, rough the ear up. So take a couple of pinches actually off the ear. Place them on a table. Then I come further down the mask where you got the longer fibers. A few pinches. Like so. And then we just mingle them through our fingers and thumbs. Just blend them. Just like so. Okay. So there we are. Dab it on. Nice light touches. You don't want this thick. Some of the long fibers, some of the shorter downy feathers, the fibers. Tighten it up. Okay, and what I tend to do with the dubbing is fine, thick, fine. So you taper it so it's like, yeah, it's like a cigar shape.
Yeah.
So when you get to the top of the head section, you can just taper it down. So when you accept, the hackle accepts onto the fly, it's a lot easier. So we go down to the tail. Hold the tail. And wind up. Like so. Get that. Tighten it down. Pull a little bit of waste away. Tighten it down. Manipulate it. And there's our body in. Just trim that off. Flatten it. Right, so that's our tail in. That's our body in. Hold the tail. Come around with one turn. And then nice even turns of the gold through the body. Get to there. Turn it once, 2, 3. One for luck. Trim the rib away. Okay, right. Now the hackles. I'm going to use a partridge. Nice little brown one. A decent one. Yeah, that's a nice one there. Nice wide partridge. And as an under hackle, I'm going to use a hen, done. Okay, only 2, maybe 3 turns. And try to get it the same length. I like the partridge to be long and flowing because I like movement. All my flies, I like a bit of movement in them, bit of life. So we take our hen. Select the right one, that's a bit better. That's a nice one. Select the feather, trim the base away. Few fibers off. I gotta see if I can catch this in. I can't see. These lights are absolutely horrendous. 1, 2, 3. The pliers. Okay, bring it back. 1, 2 will do. So we've got 2 turns of done. 2, 3. Push it back. Give it 1 turn. Hold everything out of the way. Take our partridge. Trim the down away. Put your hackle pliers. Catch the tip. And then draw the fibers back. Okay. But sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get your fingers in. So using the tip, place it on. Use your thumb to hold it. Put 1, 2, 3 turns of hackle on, or thread on rather. Back to your hackle pliers. Put 1 on. 2, if you can. In fact, I think I'll just go with the 1 because that's a little bit, that stalk's a little bit thick. I'll get the 2 on. Looks a lot better. That's it. Right. Catch it in. 1, 2, 3. Pull it back. Trim your hackle off. The stalk off. Get a little bit in there. Okay, so now we've got our 2 hackles in. Now before we put our wing on, which is going to be hen pheasant, finger and thumb, push it back. But when I'm pushing it back, I'm pushing the hackle slightly down. Can you see that? Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So instead of the hackle being around now, it's going this way. So I'm flattening the top of the hook off, which makes it easier to tie the wing in. So push it down, put it back, and make a nice neat base for our wing, just like so. So we're like that. Okay. Now, hen pheasant. Where are you? Okay. Hen pheasant wings. You all know about the primary feathers, which are the big ones, the ones on the ends.
Yeah.
We use those. We use the set. That's it. Yeah, we use the secondary. So we come in. It's also important that when you buy a pair of wings, if it's mallard, if it's pheasant, grouse, always keep the wings you buy together because they're always off the same bird and they're almost a mirror image of each other.
Yeah.
Because you can get 2 different birds, you can get 2 different drakes, mallard drakes, and the feathers will face, or the fibers of the feathers will face different ways, or they'll be at different angles on the actual feather itself. And if you do that, sometimes it can really ruin your day, because you'll never get them to pair up, because you'll have one going this way and you'll have one going that way, and they'll never match. So always keep your wings together. That one. Okay. Right.
Have you ever bought a pair, Gavin, that are off different birds?
Yes. Friend of mine does a lot of shooting, and he always, the pheasants, he always cuts the wings off. The ducks, he cuts the wings off, and he just throws them in a bag, and think, oh God Almighty, I got to go. And then I'm sitting there, and I'm going through all these wings. I never throw them away. I just go through them and just dry them on a radiator or on the old boiler. But I just say to him, you know, give me the bird and I'll do it for you, and you can have the bird back. Makes it like easy, but no, he never listens. Right. Let's see if I can find my little tool that I've made. Where is it? Right. Wings. Do you ever struggle with wings? Getting the wing proportion correct?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
width of the wings. Right.
Put a hook on a cocktail stick.
Exactly what I was going to show you, but I can't find
Yes,
it.
well, I've watched your video, haven't I?
Oh, you have, yeah. But I can't find it.
I've got one. Do you want to borrow it?
That woman of mine have been in yet again.
Here you go, fellas.
Got it. Got it.
Oh,
Right. Cocktail stick. Different size hooks. If you use a size 12, get a size 14 hook. Take your feather. Place it in so the shank touches the feather. Push the barb through and pull it out. And when you do that, trim your feather away from the, and you get a perfect size. So take a hook, push it in. And every time it breaks off, be a perfect size. So it's just a little jig that you can use to get your wings perfect every time. But remember, if it's a 12, go to a 14, because that gives you the nice proper size.
I don't remember you saying that in your video.
That's for the next one. Right, take your finger, dampen it, put the one on, touch. Come on, up you come.
God, that's dangerous.
Yeah. So, oh,
Come on.
trying to pick it up. There's bloody fur everywhere now. It's sticking everywhere. Right. So, dull side to dull side. Got the shiny or the bright side underneath, the dull side on the outside, dull side underneath. Put them in your fingers, tip to tip. Manipulate them. So you got good side and good side. When you tie them onto the hook, pointy or the longer side up, not that way, pointing down. The outside edge has got to be pointing up. If you do it the other way around and the wing gets roughed up, you'll never put it back together. But when you do it this way, you can just manipulate it and it'll come back. Yeah? And it looks silly anyway if you do it the other way. Right, so just push the hackle aside. You can get your scissors, flatten top of the head, so that when the feather sits on, it's got a nice flat base. Take your feathers, place them on like so. Hold them, pinch and loop, loose pinch and loop, come around and tighten on the upside. 1, 2, 3 turns, nice and tight. And there we are. Perfect wing. The secret of it is flatten the top of the head. Because if you think of the way the wing sits, if your head that you've built is rounded, if you put the wing on top of it, it'll never sit flat.
Yeah.
It'll pull it off.
Yeah.
So just give it a little flatten and your wing will sit like that every time. Repinch the wing. Come in. Trim your waist away. Don't leave the wing go. And now make a nice neat head. Work down to the eye and then back up like so. Whip finish. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I did there, when I whip finished, I worked from the eye, 5 turns up to the base of the wing. Trim your waist away. Sure that's sitting good. Just cut that a little bit off there. Just pointing down. We're talking. Come in with the needle. Pull your little hackles, your little fibers out. And then we'll finish off with a bit of UV. Make the head nice and glossy.
So just to recap, Gav, the hook for dividing the feather wing, size bigger than the
Smaller.
hook that you're dressing?
Size smaller than the dressing.
Size smaller.
Yeah. Right, just leave that soak in a little bit. And then just set it. So, before you tie your wing in, get the flatters of a scissors and just flatten your head. And if you think about what I did, you can see it there. I got a pin, maybe I can get it a little bit closer for you. If you notice what I did there, how was that? Can you see that bit better?
Yeah.
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 Well, Chris Salmon now.
Yeah. Well, the size bigger, and yeah, it will be. I do actually tell you, one of my early season trout patterns on the rivers, my favorite ones is a silver marsh brown. So what I did with this, I mingled them. The pattern's exactly the same, but the bottom half of the body is silver mylar and the top half is azure. And I've caught a lot of fish with that. The odd sea trout,
Oh, nice.
they too tend to jump on it.
Mhm.
But the secret with it is, with the wing, and it's with all wings, is flatten that head. Tie it on, give it a little press, and also pull the hackle down. So the profile of the fly, it just looks a lot better. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And the other thing, what size silks do you use, boys?
8-0 and 6-0.
14-0 and
44.
14 and 6.
My standard is 10-0 and 12-0. This Benici is fantastic material. It is fantastic tie material.
who sells that, Gav?
I had a load of it off RV Handling, but of course they've gone through. But I think Flybox maybe. I think it's maybe Flybox.
All right.
I have to look because I've only got one spool of red left, and about only 2 spools
I'm
of
still
black.
using some of Steve Parton's, if you remember Steve Parton.
Yeah,
I've got a load of his to get through.
Yeah.
Quite a very good amount on the spool.
yes.
Really deep spools. Very good.
Like you can use like Gareth, when Gareth Lewis comes on, he uses the nano silk, the Semperfly.
Oh, it's expensive.
It's expensive, but this is a 200 yard spool.
Yeah. That'll last you forever.
Yeah, but it's so thin and so strong. But the trouble is with it, you've got to get used to tying with it.
Mhm.
Because I've tied wings with the hen pheasant, with the semperfly, and got tightened up, and he cut straight through them.
Oh, dear.
And you'll never ever tie foam with it.
Mhm.
You'll never tie foam with it. It's so strong, but it's so thin. It's like bloody cheese wire. And I've had cuts. It's also cut me, my fingers and all.
It's about £5 for 50 yards.
Yeah. But if you're tying small flies, like Gareth does a lot of midges. I do. Well, I used to do a lot of small flies, 18s, 20s. When you're tying those, then it's worth paying it.
Yeah.
Well, I see. I think I saw somewhere where the coloured semperfly in the water, it loses its colour.
I don't know. I wouldn't know about
I've
that.
seen it somewhere. I don't know for sure, but I've seen it somewhere. And somebody was complaining about it. It lost its colour.
Yeah, you can. It's definitely a topic, but it's only really heavy, losing its color when you fish it in salt water.
Ah.
So the really bright colors get a bit more, I would say, like not translucent, a bit more pastel, if you know what I mean. And you know, even if you color your white thread with an edding or with a Sharpie, it's going to lose its color in salt water. So it's really hard to do durable stuff for salt water. And
Yeah,
what
I suppose like I've had this off Deer Creek, and I think it's the same stuff. And I use pens like Alos does with the pike flies, and I've noticed it does actually come off, but I think it's because of the material. With the cotton threads, the color holds better, but with the plastic ones, or the nylon, it doesn't take so well.
Yeah. Could have a point there.
you have to cover it with a UV stuff or with a Nelly Hansen or what you always use.
That's it. You've got to. Right. Any more questions? What about the dabbler? Did you like the dabbler?
Looked
The way
very
it
nice.
folds back.
Tidy.
And of course, when you do that type of thing, like I said, I like the black dabbler, but I like to put a claret hackle just behind the actual bronze mallard. But I also tied a black one, but I put a bright orange at the beginning of the season behind or in front of behind the mallard, and that pulls a lot of fish.
Orange is a good colour, isn't it?
In bright sunshine, orange is really, really good, especially for rainbow trout.
Yeah.
Especially with rainbow trout. They love it. In the bright sunshine, they love it. Right, come on, more questions.
Are you sponsored by Partridge?
No, by Deer Creek. I just like Partridge hooks. I've used them. They were the first hooks I ever tied with when I was 8, 9 years old.
All right. When Alan Bramley was in charge of Partridge.
I don't know. He may have been. He may have been.
Mark would have loved what you said, Gavin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mark Armnett. Yeah, probably would have. How did you start tying flies, lads?
Oh well,
Yes.
for me,
Yeah.
a local tackle dealer at the time, Andy Kelsall at Stone. I went with him to a pool. He put some trout in a pool because it was the old close season. Then they wanted to fish this pool all year round, and he caught this rainbow. It tail walked on the water, and the light shone down its flanks, and that hooked me. And then they had a fly tying session one night in the Robin Hood at Stone. I went, and the first fly I tried to tie was an Alexander, which was a bit ambitious, and the 2 casts and it fell to pieces. And after that, I got it put on the national school agenda, and it went on from there.
Yeah. I'm walking distance from the Upper River Taff, and I mean, it's 400 yards from me.
Mhm.
I live now on the other side of the valley to what I grew up on, but that's only 500 yards walking distance. So I always I was fishing the river with worms and with wasp grubs, and I always used to watch the fish rising. And I came home one day from school. I was only 9, 10 years old, and Mock Morgan, if you must have heard of Mock,
Yeah.
he was on a Welsh language program. Didn't have a clue what he was saying, but he tied his cockabondy in his fingers
Yeah.
on the side of the river.
Mhm.
And I was hooked.
Yeah.
And for 3 years, I never used a vice. I didn't even know you could get a vice. That's how I learned. I could still tie flies without the vice now. But that was me hooked. I watched him. I thought, who the hell is he? And you know, the first time I ever met him, I was marking the river out for an international match, and I caught him poaching. I did. I said, excuse me. I thought, oh my God, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And I think I went into three or four of the teams I was in. Mock was there with being one of the stewards of this, and that was me done. That was me done.
We used to have a chap in staff named Bill Tagg. Pottery's fly tying club was a result of his fly tying classes, and he could tie a size 12 Greenwell Glory dry in his fingers at 82.
Yeah.
But he'd never let us video it.
Do you want me to do it next week or the week after?
Yeah, blindfold.
I can. Without these bloody lights everywhere. But honestly, that's how I started. I started in my hands. The first vice I ever made, I made in secondary school.
Wow.
Because there was a teacher in there, Bainan, and he was a big fisherman, and he used to do fly tying classes. And I sat down, he said, I'd have a go at this, and I tied, funnily enough, it was a Greenwell's Glory.
Yeah.
And I sat there in my fingers, and he went, my God, he said, we got to make you a vice boy.
Yeah.
And that kicked me off.
Yeah.
I still got a year somewhere.
Yeah.
I tied my first flies in the Craftsman vice.
Ah.
Did you?
These small ones, you know, with the glasses over it to weld and stuff, or to melt lead to connect some. You know what I'm talking about? The electricians do that, and
it's a vice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a vice, yeah, but it's kind of weird now when you look far behind. And I started tying because the flights were so much expensive here at that time.
Ridiculous.
And and I never caught on a board fly. I first caught my first pike on a self-made fly, and it looks like shit, you know. But I caught a fly. I caught a fish. So this was my goal.
The thing is, we can go like for perfection, but it doesn't mean that's going to go out and catch you a fish.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Hare's ear nymph has got to be the most popular fly on this planet.
Yeah.
You fish rivers, lakes, and in the sea,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll catch you fish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the gruffiest thing you can have.
Mm-hmm.
We like to have them pretty, and we like to have nice, pretty toys that we pay hundreds and hundreds of pounds for.
Yeah.
But you don't really need it. So you lads that are maybe novices, if you can't do them perfectly, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
The thing is, isn't it? The fly's got two jobs to do. It's got to encourage you to put it on the tippet, and it's got to catch the fish.
Yeah.
And you get a dry fly that's landed on the water and he's dying. He's not the prettiest thing in the world, is he?
No.
He's had a bit of armour in, so it's
Exactly.
you know,
As long as it works.
it works.
Yeah.
It works. Right. What else? Come on and give us some more questions.
Gav,
Hello.
yeah, I noticed that you didn't use any wax on your thread when you're doing the dubbing, and Davey McPhail was the same last week. Is there any reason for that, or just because you're good enough not to? You know, I'm a complete novice here, like, you know. So
finger and thumb. That's it. That'll do you. When you use saliva, that's the best. When you put your dubbing on, a little bit of saliva just tacks it up, and that's good enough. It's good enough. And anyway, most of the silks you can buy today are waxed. So if you want to use a bit of, I got wax here, I got dubbing wax, I've got solid wax.
Mm-hmm.
I got one here shaped like a skull somewhere. But
that BT wax is very expensive, I think, for it is.
Yes, it is.
Vineyards do one of their own, which is much better, I think.
Yeah, I've got that here somewhere as well. I don't know where it is, but it's here somewhere. Oh, there's my little skull. One of those as well.
Okay.
It's just beeswax.
Yeah.
One of the lads in Deer Creek does his own little things, and he gave it to me, and I'm not going to use it. It's a nice little thing. But yeah, if you need to use wax, but lick your thumb, put your together, and just put it onto the dubbing. A lot of the time, it's the way you use the dubbing. That's why I showed you. If you put it in your hand, like if you get it out of the packet, that's tight.
Yeah.
And if you try to tie that, you try to dub that onto the thread, it's hard work. Just put it in the palm of your hand, just rub your finger through it. It's falling apart now, look. It just breaks it up, and that dubs on a lot easier. And also, do little and often. Don't try to do your dubbing in one lump. Don't try to take it off and put it on in one go. Little bits, and it'll come together for you a lot easier.
Excellent.
What else? Come on, keep it coming.
Talking about silk, where do you get your pearsals from?
I haven't used pearsals for a long time. Where did I last get it from? I think it was from Vineyards.
No, they don't sell it anymore.
The last time I had it must have been 3 years ago up in the BFFI. I can't remember where I had it off. And that was only Primrose. That's just for the Greenwells.
Yeah.
You want some, Derek?
Well, pearsals, yeah. I gotta tie some little wets for me mate, some spiders.
Well, Langley Threads were doing a close copy,
Yeah.
but now I'll have to go and fetch the paper. If you give me 2 minutes, I'll tell you exactly where you can get it from.
Yeah.
Right.
There was one called Morris.
That's it. That's the one.
Morris Silks.
Yeah.
And they do a complete set for 385 quid.
Wow.
What colour you want, Derek?
I'll have 2 of them.
How many sets do I have to get?
What colour are you looking for?
Well, it's just to tie some different spiders, like the partridge and orange and the water hen blower. And
Yeah, I've got them colours, Derek.
have you?
And you bought them the same time as I did.
Hey,
You bought them the same time as I did from the BFF.
not pearsals.
Yeah. On the little spools.
I'm gonna have to dig them out now. Like, Christ knows where they gone.
With your part, how do you tie your partridge and orange, Derek?
How do I tie it?
Yep.
Start off with your silk, run it down to just before the bend.
All right.
Run it back up, so you've only got like two layers of thread, and then catch in your partridge.
Right.
Couple of turns and it's done.
Right.
Do you put your partridge in first then, Gav?
I'll see if I can find my orange, and I will show you now. Same as I did this little technique I showed you, tying it forward.
Yes, yes.
Works perfect with
Yeah.
spiders. Right, I use my Benici. Pull these out of the way. I got partridge in front of me, and I got gold rib in front of me. I'll use one of these Size 12s, right? Right, got the vise there. Yeah, see the vise? Right, it's going to be a big one because that's the hook I got in front of me. This is my Benici. I got loads of Benici stuff. They should be sponsoring me. But there we are. They won't. Right. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready, Derek?
Yeah,
Right.
and
Catch
it's
your
been
thread on.
recorded.
Catch your thread on. Go to the center. Now with partridge. Lost me bloody partridge, huh? Where's he gone?
Flown away.
He's flown away. Like Davy's curlew. Right. Now, I always buy a partridge skin because it's a lot cheaper. You buy the little packets, they murder because you get the massive feathers. But on the skins, if you go down this area, you get all small ones, but as you go back, and you get the big ones. So if you go back to the back, take one of the big ones, right, the really thick ones, trim your waist away so they're really, really wide. Catch it in the middle of the hook, trim a stalk off, take your little hackle pliers, hackle around the center of the hook. Oh, come on now. Didn't catch the center then. Hackle around the center of the hook. Oh, come on. This is light's killing me. 1, 2. Tie it off. Take yourself back up to the eye like I did before. Push it up. 2 loose turns around. Manipulate it around the eye. Okay, and this is quite a big hook. Oh, pick that up.
Is that an anvil vice, Gav?
Yeah. So we've done the same thing as we did with the Cocobondi and with the dabbler. So we got like the shuttlecock type. Take your little rib. Catch it in.
You could do the same technique for a big hackle you want to use up, I should think. couldn't you?
That's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm using the big hackles from the back end of the partridge, the wide ones. You just take your thread down to the butt end, touching turns with the thread, come through, go back down, make the body a little bit meatier, come back up, touch behind the hackle, 1 complete turn around, up we go, 1, 2, 3, trim it away, finger and thumb, push it back, just manipulate it, wiggle your silk through, and if you want it to stand really proud, just put 1, 2 turns in, just catch that out of the way. 2 turns in, so there's hardly any head there. Take a bit of Sally.
Uh-oh.
Get most of it off. Okay, I just put on the thread. And we're finished.
You froze again, Gav.
Your screen's frozen, Gav.
You can see where the actual eye of the hook is. It's light. Lights are killing me. 3, 4. Here we go. And that's a partridge in orange. Using the big feathers.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Here's my clip. They're gonna fly off. That's partridge orange. Using the big feathers of the partridge, just get it to poke out so it looks really spidery. Like so. I like when I tie
Yeah,
my spiders, I like up. The one I'm facing back, because that kills the movement. When they're up, they give you this action in the water.
Yeah.
What's the biggest hook you use for a spider?
Uh-oh, he's gone.
He's
You
thinking about it.
frozen again, Gav?
I think you can hear you.
No, he's gone.
No, he's still there. He's just
Is
frozen.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to leave you. Thank you very much, Derek.
Yeah, same here, mate.
Thank Gavin. It was really good.
Okay, guys.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. See you
Thank
soon.
Bye.
Good night.
Thanks, mate. All the best now.
Good night.
Good night.
Cheers, Derek. Can't
Take care,
find them.
guys.
Let me know. Derek,
Yeah.
if you can't find the threads, let me know.
All right, mate.
It's only orange and purple you want, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
And yellow as well.
Yeah, I've got all them. Well, you have as well. We bought them at the same time.
Where the hell have I put them? That's the thing.
It's bloody, it was 5 or 6 years ago, Derek.
Well, you know what my bloody tying desk is like, don't you?
Yeah, it's in there.
Like a drawers and drawers and drawers.
I think we bought half a dozen each, all different colours. Because it did stop, Purcell's, and then that guy took it on again. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
No.
died.
He's
Has he
died, is he?
Yeah.
He weren't that old.
It was him and